Now I'm just overcomplicating it at this point. I'm just like, I don't believe that I can do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Only you can make them true.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Too Weird Didn't Watch. He's Brantley Heaton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Albert Berg.
You've got to tell them what the show's about.
This is the show where we make fun of movies. What do? We read the descriptions and we laugh.
This is the show where we...
apparently,
little do we know, Albert's been replaced.
I'm a pod person. No, I'm not. Well, those are the three words that we're supposed to say. They were like, we went to pod person orientation. They were like, okay, you should be fine. People normally will gloss over a lot of stuff. They'll just think you're going through some things. But if you say, I am a pod person, they're going to know.
They've been trained on that since the 50s.
Yeah,
they'll understand what's going on.
Also, that was 4 words, not 3.
Yeah, one's a contraction.
Let's kick it off, Brantley. Let's kick it into gear and in
words.
the gears. I'm a pod person. Pod person is like a hyphenation.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Read the movie.
Frankenstein must be destroyed.
Is he a steampunk cyborg?
I don't think so.
Well, I'll be disappointed. Continue.
Let's find out. Baron Frankenstein travels to a new town to meet Dr. Brandt, with whom he has been corresponding, and with whom he had hoped to collaborate. He arrives, however, to learn that Brandt is in a mental institution, having lost his mind completely.
He didn't mention those in the letters at all. Also, I like that they used Baron, because he was a Baron.
Right? He was?
At least his dad. I don't know if he actually inherited the title over the course of the book, but his dad was.
So I'm going to assume that this is like Frankenstein after, like post the monster, right? He's made the monster. He is, he's familiar with the process. He's like, he wants to do it again, do it right this time. He finds a pen pal. He like puts like a little ad out on the paper. He's like looking for people to help create man, but better. Superman, if you will.
This is questions, because if it is him, he kind of died. And if we ignore that, the creature didn't.
Right?
Because he lost track of the creature when they're off in the Arctic. And
right?
He's like, that's the whole point of him telling the story is like, I made this thing. It's kind of dangerous and murdery. You might want to get the word out to people. My bad. I'm going to die now. Have fun with that.
But we're all okay. Frankenstein's not coming for us. Or is he? And then the window breaks behind me and he rips me through.
Have you seen the Frankenstein theory?
No.
That one, he kind of just like wanders the Arctic Circle trying to avoid people and hunting the same herd of caribou.
Okay.
But like one of the main characters is a descendant of Frankenstein who's been trying to prove that, it's real. And he has this like list of murder records.
You know what? Now that you're like telling me about this, I remember seeing part of Frankenstein theory.
A dumb movie.
Well, I don't think I bothered to finish it.
Do you know the complaints people make about the Blair Witch Project, the original?
Right.
It's that without the good parts.
Okay.
They're idiots in the Canadian, wilderness. They're dumb. It's a professional camera crew, so in general the footage is fine.
Right.
But you literally don't see anything in the monster till the very end, and then he's completely out of focus.
Well, that's just great.
Yeah. Anyways, back to this movie.
Also, he's not like some supernatural Lovecraftian horror, right? He's just a dude who got made and he's immortal and killing stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's not any reason for them to have to got lost like there is in the Blair Witch Project.
Well, I mean, they get to a camp and then, because they have like little yurts out in the wilderness, apparently. I don't know, I haven't been to Canada. And the guy, like, over the night, Frankenstein comes and trashes one of their snowmobiles, so the guy just goes to, he thinks it's just some people screwing with him. It's like, these are my woods! Rah! And he goes after him.
Not the main guy, right?
No, this is their guide they hired.
Okay.
Everyone was like,
the main guy's like, I'm looking for Frankenstein, and some unspeakable force trashed one of my snowmobiles.
That'd be great. Just Dracula shows up and he's like, I didn't see this coming, my guys, my bad. The Wolfman's there. What is happening?
Getting back to the movie at hand, apparently, Frankenstein Must be Destroyed. Frankenstein takes a room in a boarding house run by the pretty young Anna, who just happens to be engaged to Carl. a doctor who works at the asylum where Dr. Brandt is being kept.
This is all so wonderfully coincidental.
Well, it's a small town.
Yeah.
Like, he had to stay somewhere. There was the lady at the inn. She had to be engaged to somebody because she's pretty. Somebody, and like, it just happens to be the guy who works at the asylum.
Well, my question is still, if this is the original Frankenstein, in my mind, this is his dad.
Right?
So while he's off going crazy, trying to build something, it's just, his dad was just writing to somebody and just went to go see how he's doing.
Okay. So no connection to the...
This is concurrent to the actual Frankenstein story in my mind.
He keeps letting it from his son about like, I have created life. I am as a god. It's like, man, I did not raise him right. Something went wrong. I blame his mother. She coddled him too much.
He gets it from her side. Our youngest kid, he's right.
When Frankenstein learns that Carl has been stealing drugs, he blackmails him and Anna to work as his assistants.
That is so beautifully mundane. That is fantastic.
Also, are we sticking with the idea that he's not creating life? This
is Baron Frankenstein. This is Victor Frankenstein's dad. He's just like went on vacation to visit a pen pal, and then it turns out he's gone insane.
Right, and he's like,
this is when his son is in college. In my mind, he's still making the monster right now. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, he's still studying the essence of life, and his dad's like, man, I'm in this dumpy little town. My pen pal turned out to be a nut. I need some assistance. You've been stealing some heroin.
How did he go into like a detective thing, or did he just like happen to walk in to visit his buddy, and the guy just like get a whole bunch of morphine, just like,
he's got like a shopping
Baron
basket
Frankenstein.
I need an assistant. We won't talk of this. He is desperate to learn a secret that Brandt was going to share with him and kidnaps him with the intent of extracting that secret. How would you guess he would extract that secret?
Torture?
By transplanting his brain into another body.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. I've seen Universal movies. That's all over the place there.
Okay, yes, but it's his brain.
Yeah.
Like, his whole plan is, okay, first of all, he's already crazy. Or something. He's in a mental institution. At the time of Frankenstein, like, that might have not meant as much as it means today.
Yeah.
Because you could just put anybody, however, in there. But he busts him out with the help of his two newfound coke-dealing assistants. Which now I'm imagining, like, no wonder she's so pretty. She keeps that figure with cocaine. She really suppresses those hunger urges. And his plan is, his brain doesn't want to tell me in the current body. I'll put it in a different body, and then it'll want to tell me. I don't think that's how brains work.
No. Unless there's something wrong with the speech part.
Maybe.
Like, maybe he's a mute and is like, I have a solution. You're going to be this guy now. And his friend's just like miming, trying to say it's a horrible idea. Because again, this is Baron Frankenstein. He's not the doctor. That's his son. This guy's just like, we can do this. Thumbs up. And he's like,
he doesn't have any medical training at all.
He's just a Baron in
pretty sure the brain's somewhere up in here.
The brain, it's like it's there, and it just put a nub on. And it's like, what?
What is the secret that Brandt was going to share with him, do you think?
I can.
He gets the secret, and Brandt's like, fine, drink your Ovaltine. And he's like, yes,
tell me the secret. Fry the chicken. It's the KFC general.
Right.
Or Colonel's secret recipe.
These are the spices.
You don't watch Futurama, they do a joke about that where Bender goes back in time and steals it.
Right.
I stole the Colonel's secret recipe. Chicken grease salt.
Next up, we have Frankenstein Created Woman.
Yeah, that was called Bride of Frankenstein. And it was a big plot point. And this is in the same series, yes?
I don't know.
I refuse to accept no for an answer. You tell me all you want. I refuse to accept no.
I picked out Frankenstein movies specifically with the intent that we would have like a Frankenstein themed episode.
That's fine.
It will say a dead and frozen Baron Frankenstein is reanimated by his colleague Dr.
Same
Hertz.
Guy. The end of that movie, he somehow gets frozen.
Proving to him, by the way, this is horrifying. I want to read the sentence, and it's just the worst. A dead and frozen Baron Frankenstein is reanimated by his colleague Dr. Hertz. First of all, Dr. Hertz, you're on point with the reanimation stuff. proving to him that the soul does not leave the body on the instant of death.
That's fair.
That's horrifying. The idea that you die and just lay in your grave and stare at the inside of your coffin and possibly...
Well, if you're dead, none of that works and you just basically go to sleep.
Well, if you go to sleep, there's no point of having a soul.
I mean, the question has always been whether or not the monster has a soul, and if so, where did it come from?
Right, but this guy
Which was kind of one of his driving questions in Dean Koontz' Frankenstein series.
But he's not... This isn't the monster we're talking about. This is the Baron.
Yeah. From
the previous movie. Again, he gets reanimated. And the guy's like, boom! Proved it! You got a soul! It's still in your body! What?
I like the idea that the Baron's trying to explain that he did go to the afterlife, but it's like, no, you came back alive. Clearly you didn't go anywhere. That was a hallucination. It's like, but I saw the gates and everything, and then they were like, no, because I was, blackmailing people. They said my kid was up to some weird stuff. I don't know.
His lab assistant, young Hans, is found guilty of murdering the local pub owner with whom he had an argument where he foolishly swore to kill the man.
Okay, so he didn't kill him in the argument. He just swore and is like, man, I'm not really into that, but I swore and I'm a man of my word. Sorry, man. He just snaps his neck.
I told you I was going to kill you. I don't, I regret saying that.
He feels bad about it, so he takes him out to dinner and they just spend the whole day just becoming buds and he's like, listen, I swore to kill you. I feel bad about it. I'm real sorry, but I kind of swore, so stab.
Frankenstein acquires his body immediately after the execution. Hans had been quite friendly with the dead man's daughter, Christina.
Oh,
who
my.
Turns just in time to see him guillotined. She's like, you killed my boyfriend! Why? He's like, well, there's extra bad news about that. He killed your dad. No! Shunk. She's having a bad day.
Yeah, she's not having a fun time.
And what happens? Distraught, she commits suicide.
It's Romeo and Juliet.
And is brought back to life by the good... Good is a debatable word in this sentence. The good doctor.
He's good at it now. He learned medicine after his son was whole I brought dead to life, and is like, I'm gonna look into that.
Okay, no, this gets worse. The sentence gets worse. So
better.
She comes back to town. I'm imagining this whole story from her perspective now because this is the best version of this story. Mm-hmm. She comes back to town, sees her boyfriend having his head chopped off. She's horrified by that. She's like, oh my gosh, we were engaged to be married or whatever. His penis was so great. Liked him a lot. And then they're like, why did you kill him? Oh, well, he knocked off your dad because he told him that he would in an argument. And she's all distraught. She goes and
Cursed is keeping his word.
She goes and commits suicide. Gets brought back to life by the good doctor, but with Hans's brain replacing her own.
So this is Hans now.
Yeah.
Hans is brought back to life.
But in a hot chick's body, apparently.
He's staring at a mirror for 20 minutes straight.
What is it like for him? He comes back to life. He's like, I'm back. And he's like, well, not only are you back, look what you look like.
He comes back and he's like, is this my second chance? Have I been forgiven? Why do I have boobs? What did I miss? And Frankenstein's like, I have good news and bad news.
Or possibly for Hans, good news and good news.
Yeah.
He's got the best of both worlds. He wanted that body. He wanted it bad. Now he has it.
Frankenstein is the worst little genie. You said you wanted that body. Ta-da! It's a Helsing character.
As memories return to her, Hans's memories, in fact. Yeah, we got that, guys. This is in the previous sentence. She sets out to pursue and kill those responsible for having him sent to his death.
Wait, so she gets his memories? So
I'm guessing she wakes up and, brain transplants can't be exactly 100% foolproof. I would assume that the brain has to reboot and sort of get itself running again. So she's alive and she's kind of conscious, but she doesn't know everything that happened.
Yeah.
So Hans is now in her body and he's hunting.
So wait, okay. Is he slowly realizing he's not supposed to have boobs? Does he start off and it's the brain's just kind of defaulted to just being a human brain? So it's just fine, but just amnesiac. And then slowly he's wait a minute, I had a penis.
I was going to say the boobs are the thing for you. I'm imagining him standing up to pee and then being wait a minute, I just made a mess all over myself. How did this work again?
Do this.
And then it comes back to him in a flash. I had a penis and I was murdered and I murdered the other guy.
I picture a whole couple months period where he just slowly comes back, but he's still kind of stuck just thinking he's a chick and he's supposed to be that way.
Right.
So he like calls out to the bear and he's like, what happened? He goes, you're supposed to sit down, dumb broad. Like, he's super sexist. He's aware that it's a dude's brain, but he's super sexist to him the whole time. It's like, go get in the kitchen. That's where you belong. Kind of. I can't really tell anymore.
It's a political allegory.
At the end, we all learn a lesson about sexism.
Finally, for this episode, we have the evil of Frankenstein.
Well, yeah, I mean, he came back to life and started putting people in different genders against their will. You can do that if it's with their will, but against it, that's not cool.
Which apparently is not a big moneymaker, because the first sentence of this one says, penniless, Baron Frankenstein, accompanied by his eager assistant Hans, who might or may not be a woman.
It's the same one. It's the same one. It's the same Hans.
Arrives at his family castle near the town of Karlstad. We had Carl in the first one. They named the whole town after Carl from the first movie, right? That's what happened.
Yes.
Okay. When they found out he was stealing drugs, and they're like, we like that Carl guy. He steals the drugs.
No, see, they named them town that to remember as a lesson. It's like, no matter how great it is, everyone has a secret. So you can't trust each other. It's a very paranoid town.
He arrives at his family castle, vowing to continue his experiments with the creation of life.
Well, he's going to have to. We learned how serious vows are in this universe.
Yes, like he just can't get out of it. He's like, I vowed it, guys. I realize now it's a bad idea, but...
Somebody points out the moral implications, like, I swore, I made a vow. I'm like, oh, as you were.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Man, you get away with anything in this universe. I swear to be king. All right, well, he gets the crown now.
Fortuitously finding the creature he was previously working on, he brings it back to a semblance of life, but requires the services of a mesmerist, Zoltan, to successfully animate it.
Zoltan!
Who's Zoltan?
I don't know, but I've heard that name a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we look it up?
Yeah, sure, why
Should
not?
we do like a little history sidebar?
Yeah, we do those a few times.
We have. It just says that it's a Hungarian masculine given name, and it originates from the Old Turkish word sultan, meaning strong authority or rulership.
Ah.
So, there's a lot of Zoltans throughout history. I don't know if we can pick one, but I'm guessing that it was 2-time Olympic gold medalist and the pommel horse gymnast, for whom the Magyar Spindle and Magyar Travel was named after.
Okay.
So he's with this gold medalist gymnast guy.
Who's a hypnotist? Or a mesmerist. Sorry.
A mesmerist, yeah.
He doesn't hypnotize them, he just gets their attention.
His gymnastics are mesmerizing.
He just holds up the medals. Look at them, they're shiny!
The greedy and vengeful Zoltan secretly sends the monster into town to steal gold and punish the burgomaster and chief of police.
That wound up working a little too well, the gold thing.
What? I mean, how is that? Like, it's a big dumb monster, right? What does he get out of... Okay,
this version of the monster is because it's a semblance of life, so it's just like basically a robot made out of flesh.
No, I get that, but how is this gonna work? Like, if the monster can get away with stealing the money, probably Zoltan could have gotten away with stealing the money a lot easier.
They had guns at this point, so, you know, if they shoot him, then he's not the one getting shot, and then he just tell Baron Frankenstein, they killed your monster, you should make a new one.
So, is he just like reanimating the guy and being like, oh, I will go get the gold, and like wandering into town, just busting down people's doors and stealing the gold and walking away?
Yeah, it's the version of Frankenstein we get after the first two.
Okay.
Of the Universal movies.
This act leads to a violent confrontation between the Baron and the townspeople, which kind of takes us back to the original Frankenstein. Thanks for that.
You think they had the windmill thing?
I don't know. I would assume.
I mean, if we're following the theory that this is the dad and that this is the monster his kid made, well, let's say it's the one he worked on, so he made a monster too. That's why they're so angry at him. It's like, listen, your son did this and he started murdering people. Why are you making another one? And that's why he had to leave the town and lost all his money. And then he came back.
No, he had to pay off the lawyers for the people who got mad.
And then he just like left. And then he's got Hans, who's still kind of annoyed that he's a chick now. And then they come back, and then it's like this Zoltan guy, and he's like, Doc, can you give me a dude's body? It's like, tell you what, that's why you brought the monster back. I'll bring the monster back. You can have his body. Like, I guess.
Frankenstein seems like almost non-involved in the plot at all here.
No, he shows up, makes the monster, and then it's just...
He's got this monster laying around. He's like, let's get him back. And then he's like kind of half flopping around back, but not really alive. He's like, we got to go get Zoltan. And then Zoltan, it's basically Zoltan's movie.
Like, I like to think that he's going back and he's like, all right, we're going to go back. We're going to scientifically go back, figure out what went wrong. We're going to do this right. And he's got Hans there helping him. And Zoltan, meanwhile, is like, how to steal gold. It's like, you do that, bud. I'm going to go make monsters.
I do like that Zoltan's goals here are fairly prosaic, right? Like, he's not trying to build an army of Frankensteins.
It's really weird how, again, mundane some of the problems are in this universe. Like, logically, because normally you get used to the people who are like, I'll use the monster to conquer the world. And he's just like, I want gold. And that one guy was stealing drugs.
And to be fair, Baron Frankenstein is penniless here, so
yeah.
He needs the gold too. He can't pay Zoltan. I don't even know why Zoltan's doing this job. Maybe he thought about it ahead of time. He was like, I'll do this one pro bono. But you have to let me have
Hans
the monster.
just kind of like sighs in the background when he says pro bono. He goes, I had one of those. Hans is my favorite character in this.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week, I think, Brantley. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done that already. Leave us a review on iTunes if you like the podcast. It really helps us out a lot. And we will see you guys next week with another episode of Too Weird Did Not Watch.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.